Greetings, Superkratos here. I'm in my second account because I want to explain. Uh, I want to explain something critical for players who have not been playing as long as I have, and that is how to take everything I've said about building a meta deck and apply it to a set of cards where you do not, where they're not all max level. So what do you do? How do you build a meta deck if you do not have all of your cards up to max level? And so I am going to kind of talk that through a little bit. Some of it is your choice of what cards to upgrade. So I've really focused heavily on the Witch Doctor and the Koala. That's really important. Uh, and then some of it is the choice of what to put in my deck. Now, I have managed to level up my Mummy to level 6. If you notice, he's got 1,769 hit points. My Viking has 1,577. I mean, if I upgraded it one more time, it would have like around the same hit points as the Mummy. However, the Mummy is immune to magic brick damage, and so that kind of gives it an edge in my mind over the Viking. So I stick with the Mummy. Now, if I had a lower leveled Mummy and a higher leveled Viking, I might go with the Viking instead. So some of it depends on what cards you've been able to pick up. You cannot request mummies from other people in your guild, but you can request Vikings. So you may be able to accelerate the leveling up of your Viking. So that's an option for you. But if you can, the mummy is more powerful, so you stick with the mummy. I have definitely focused on leveling up my boulder. That is one of the most key cards in the game. Now, if you look, my fireball is only level 9, and so I'm focused on leveling up other things besides my fireball, and that largely has to do with the fact that my fireball's in my deck to destroy mana bricks. It's nice if it can do a little bit of damage in a pinch if I really need it to in an emergency, but since the point of it is just to destroy mana bricks, I'm happy with it even at level 1. So I might spend my money elsewhere instead. Now, there are, if you notice, so what I would recommend to lower level players generally is to use the really defensive brick layout, where you have the trap brick, the poison brick, and the stonewall brick. If you see I don't have my stonewall brick in here, that's because my stonewall brick is a very low level. Since they nerfed the stonewall brick, it takes a lot of levels for it to get up to the place where it's really useful. So I've decided to level up my skeleton brick instead. And then this adds a little bit of swarm to my deck. Now, part of my reason for that is the fact that I am oftentimes up against opponents who have higher level cards than me. In fact, almost all the time I'm playing opponents with higher level cards than I have. And so I need a little extra push in order to take hearts from my opponents, because they can kill off my level 10 koala pretty easily and my level 6 mummy pretty easily. And so the skeleton brick gives me that little extra edge that I need to sometimes take a heart. So sometimes I may not take a heart by any other means except for the skeleton brick, which is really valuable. And this is part of the reason why I use the trap brick, is because sometimes it puts skeleton bricks in there, and maybe some other magic brick that gives me a little extra edge. Now, I have 2 other cards in here that are designed to give me an edge in up against players with higher level cards. One is the summon brick right here. And notice I've tried to level this up as much as possible because I play this pretty consistently, and I assume very often in my games I am going to end up behind, and this does happen to me in my second account because my cards are underleveled. Very often my opponent is able to take a heart or 2 before I can stop him. There's really nothing I can do about it. I will throw all of my units at his cards, at his units. You know, my units will fight his units, but his units are just higher level, and he just kind of walks down and takes hearts from me. Well, I try not to get too discouraged because hopefully I've been playing my summon brick over and over and over again. I've got a few extra mana bricks. My opponent probably has not had enough free mana and free spells in order to destroy all my mana bricks. And so he takes a heart from me, and then I can turn the game around and fight back. And sometimes in the course of a game, this will happen 2 or 3 times where I even the game out, and then the opponent comes back and takes more hearts from me, and so then I'm behind again. So then I use the mana comeback mechanic and push back through for the win. So that is the goal anyway. I keep throwing out these summon bricks. Another spell I could use instead is the smoke bomb. The smoke bomb, I have used this, in the past. And you can use this to kind of give you that little extra oomph in order to defeat a unit that is a higher level than yours. So my mummy's level 6. If it's up against a level 10 mummy, I can throw down the smoke bomb. So that can give you a little extra edge. I'm not using the smoke bomb because I'm using the angel instead. And again, the angel kind of gives you that little extra edge. It does this by 2 means. One is three means really. One is it heals, and so if I can get my mummy against my opponent's mummy, his mummy's probably higher level than mine, and it will win just by default. So I put my angel behind my mummy, and it heals my mummy, and sometimes that's just enough to make the contest even. Sometimes I can pull out a win. My lower level mummy will beat the higher level mummy just because it's getting healed enough. Another way it's helpful is with the shield. The angel throws on a shield that gets me a free hit. That might be enough for my level 6 mummy to beat my a level 7 mummy. That might be all I need is to be able to absorb one hit. And then, of course, the angel takes the slow off from poison, and I will often send the mummy down on purpose through poison because I need to play other things in other lanes, and that's really important, is to spread out the defense, because you have to play units in multiple lanes. So I purposely play my mummy in poison. Well, I can't have my weak little level 6 mummy slowed down by either poison or even by a wizard, and so having the angel in there keeps my mummy moving fast, and that increases the chances that the mummy will actually hit the wall. And even if the mummy doesn't hit the wall, it just makes him that much more distracting to my opponent and gives me a chance of scoring by some other means. So that is entirely those are like the tweaks that I have done to this deck in order to play as an under-leveled player. My cards are weaker than my opponents most of the time, and this is how I manage. I have worked really hard at leveling up my boulder. I have worked really hard at leveling up my angel to increase that heal. I mean, look, the heal amount is 940. I can really balance out a lot of mismatches with that. I can even do that with the koala. I mean, the koala, it's real important to get the koala up over the max damage of a boulder. So he's at 795. I'm not quite there to being, a max level boulder could still kill him in one hit, but a level 14 boulder can't. So he can survive a lot of players' boulders, and that's really important. That's really helpful. So these are the types of decisions that you make in order to play with a lower, with underleveled cards. This is not exactly the deck I would play with in my main account, because I don't need to make these choices. But I make these choices in my second account, and it usually works out for me. I win a lot of games. Sometimes I lose games, and there's just nothing I can do about it. I'm up against somebody who's got a totally max level deck, and there's no way I can stop them. And you just kind of have to be philosophical about it and say, okay, maybe I'll win the next time against somebody else. So there you have it. That's how you make a meta deck with lower level cards.